your command, Megatron.
Subscribe for Magic the Gathering and other content for evil fun.
Fear not, Megatron. Cybertron shall remain as you leave it.
You look terrible. All white and tired and old. How's the job going?
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Super Fast Tortoise. And today, we're accepting guests if people want to jump in and join on, but we're talking about accidental fun with Magic the Gathering. Because, oops, sorry I had fun. I mean, I play the game and enjoy the game, and we live in a community where people are complaining, but I'm not complaining about the fun. I mean, a whole 3-year spoilers of what's to come has got me excited. I'm gonna die, clown, tonight. Oh yeah, tonight on the Prime Tortoise, Prime and I are going head to head to face off with Commander Deck. He's playing his little Drazi deck, and I'm trying to figure out what deck I should play. Mediocre. I'm thinking about playing my my Naya deck to test it out. But if Prime wants me to play my zombie deck again, well, God rest his soul, Pain. The pain. Not kidding. See, playing the game makes the game fun. Collecting the game is a whirlwind of emotions. Coffee. Oh, notice Jurassic Park on the mug, huh? Just drinking my coffee. Excited for September's release of Ixalan for reasons. Coffee. Yes. Yes, the world of Magic is in a realm of hype right now, and people are starting to forget that they were mad and groggy about the game, and some people are still mad and groggy about the game, but a lot of us are enjoying the fact that we know the roadmap and where we're headed and what we want, what we're getting. I mean, we're getting a Jurassic Park set. Whoop, whoop. A Jurassic Park set. Like, not just, it's dinosaurs, so it's like Jurassic Park. No, we are getting Jurassic Park cards in Magic. Yes. Yes. It's fun and exciting for me. 30 years of awesomeness. Can't believe it's been 30 years since Jurassic Park came out, but gosh damn. I mean, Tortoise is old. He's turning old. He's turning old. Yep. Old timer, boomer, playing Magic and having fun with Magic. It's all amazing. Having fun with the game. That's what we're doing. We're having fun with the game. Yeah, like playing the game inspires fun in the game. Deck building inspires fun in the game. And I think what we need in our lives as the community is that we need to find out why we are in the game as a community. And we need to embrace the community as what we want in the community, like fun or pain. Hillbilly, good morning. You had a great live today. Great time. Yes. And if I remember correct, if I remember correctly, you have fun with the game. You play the game. I think what's starting to shine the most throughout the community is people who play the game are finding enjoyment in the game, and that is amazing. I like to have fun with the game. I like to play in the game. I hate talking about values and collections going up and down and all that jazz. Like it's part of the natural curve of being in the game for so long. But I actually had an interesting conversation with our friend James Willis, which James Willis should know we're live. So give me a second. Boom. All right. So James and I had an interesting conversation about how, and I was leading the conversation about how growing up with the game has kind of changed the thought process a lot of us have with the game, right? Like, and I give a weird example. You know, say you're a 5-year-old kid. Hillbilly, I agree with you there. Woo woo, agree. So the conversation went like this. I said, I think the people who grew up with magic have a different taste of magic nowadays. And it started with talking about kids. Like, if you have a 5-year-old, you buy the 5-year-old toys, like toys for 5 years old. For toys for kids who are 5 years old. Well, when you enter the game of magic, you feel like everything's new, brand shiny, and meant for that 5-year-old mentality you have. Not saying everybody acts like a 5-year-old, even though sometimes you can think people act like 5-year-olds. But like, you know, at 5 years old, there's certain toys you play with. As a magic player, there's certain play styles you get attached to as you're learning the game as a newbie. Then eventually, as a 5-year-old, you grow up to be like 6, 7, 8 years old. You know, you just grow up. Then at a certain age point, you need new toys for that kid. Like when you're 8 years old, the 8-year-old doesn't want to play with 5-year-old toys anymore. They want to play with toys aged at 8-year-old people, 8-year-old little kids, you know? They have different tastes in toys now. They want to play with like more of the action figures. They want to play with more of the fun looking figures that seem to interest them as 8 years old. Then those 8-year-olds will grow up to be 9, 10, 11 years old, and the toys they want to play with are different. Sometimes they go to video games. Sometimes they divert into like some design aspect of toys, like toys that help engage the brain, be more interactive and creative. And some people go into a different realm of what entertains them. Now, what I'm getting at is, as Magic players, we get in the game, we're like 5 years old. Don't touch my toys. Richie Dubs. What's up? Woo woo. So like we get in the game as noobs and we see the game as fresh eyes and we like the weird pieces. Some pieces not even worth money. Some pieces worth kind of learn what Grail cards are. We learn power levels and stuff. But we love playing the game as a fresh mindset. Then we get older and we kind of learn the differences in the game of Magic. And in the differences of playing Magic and growing up in Magic, we kind of start honing in on our own play styles, our own differences of what we like about the game, the things that draw us into the aspect of playing Magic. You know, I want to be a Toys R Us kid. That's right. I don't play Magic, but I show my support to everyone, which is nice. That's awesome. We appreciate that a lot. So as we get older in Magic, we become like 8 years old. You know, we want to play 8-year-old Magic. You know, we've been right down the road a bit. We've grown up, matured differently, so our taste in Magic changes. Then we grow up from 8 to 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. You know, I'm just skipping 3 years, and when we get to a certain age, the way we interact with Magic changes. The way we entertain ourselves with Magic changes, you know. Then, you know, you get older, and one day you're like 40 years old, and the way you view Magic is completely different. Maybe you started out life as a young, agile Magic player who just wants to have fun with the game, and you grow up to be some old collector who just wants the value of the nostalgia to live on forever. Well, I think that kind of blankets everybody, right? The ideology blankets everybody. We start young, fresh, and we grow up into what we want to be as an adult in Magic. Now, this is not like some roadmap that we roadmap our lives with. We don't start playing Magic. We're like, okay, here's me. I'm new. Here's my goal to become this old boomer of Magic, and here's how I want my collection to be. You know. so it's not like you grow up and live life in Magic, breaking a path all the way to becoming an old player. We just play and play and play, and we forget we age. All right. I grew up to be an old crumgent. That's right. Bitch about reprints. Good morning, DJ. You're awake. Did you want to hop on? You're welcome to hop on. Guest welcome. Oh, good morning. Good morning. Been working on the Eldrazi deck, no doubt. So the point I was making is we are growing up in Magic, and we kind of forget what we love as kids. You know what I'm saying? As kids, we are definitely changing the landscape of our thought process. We kind of forget. We kind of forget that we were once new. Sometimes we forget the stupid things we loved. Hence why I hold dearly on to Unexpected Results as one of my favorite cards, because it was during a time when I really loved playing Magic, and I loved the chaos that ensued from playing a random card. The card can fail, but the card is always fun because you never know the results. And the better the deck that it's in, the better the choices and chances of pulling a good card are. So, pet cards certain cards kind of supplant themselves in our lives and our history of times we had the most fun. We're nostalgic people. Hey! All right. Well, he's around. He'll talk when he's ready. Hello.
What's up, man?
I'm just chilling, doing my morning coffee.
Man,
Your volume's a tad low.
how about now?
All right, that's a better.
Been hacking at this thing, bro.
The Eldrazi deck.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good out of the box. I haven't played it yet, but like I'm trying to keep them together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, I'm finding cards that I'm missing that I didn't have before, but now I'm sad because now they're big money.
Mhm.
So it's like, I need a Void Winnower, and like, dude, it was $10 before they announced the deck, and then it shot up. It's like now almost $40.
That's like the Sliver Hive land.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was worth not much at all until people saw it wasn't really wasn't printed in the deck, and they're like, whoa, well, now it's a $30 card or something.
Yeah.
Land's not that amazing, but it shot up. Sorry, man, feel free. I need much coffee. Yep, I miss coffee. Yep, I believe that coffee is tough to let go of. Not to toot my own horn. So while you're doing that, so what I've been talking about is like we grow up in the game of Magic, and there's certain things we just kind of let go that we enjoyed with Magic. Like a lot of people step into Magic, and I'm not saying everybody. A lot of people step into Magic, and their whole thesis on Magic ain't what's worth money. It's how do I get better at playing the game?
Which requires money.
Which eventually you learn that it requires money, but the value, like I remember when I was new in Magic, and the value of a card didn't deter me away from playing Magic. The value of the card only pushed me into learning how to go against the card or saving up for the card. You know what I'm saying? So, like counterspell decks, I'll play against a counterspell deck most times because in most cases, the amount of counterspells in a deck, especially a commander deck, are not as fruitful and amazing as like a standard deck focuses on counter spells. And you can play against them if you know how to rush through it because they're wasting spells in their hand and their deck to have counter spells to pull off their strategy. And all you have to do is beat them down to a incredibly small amount of life. Ooh, you just got to do. So we get to a point where we know Magic. You know what I'm saying? We know Magic pretty well, especially in our older ages. We know what works. We know what we like in decks. We know what colors we don't like in Magic. Like I don't like Boros in Magic. I don't like mono red really. Like it's not my cup of tea, especially in Commander. And but like I know how to play against them. I know how to build with colors like red. I love haste engines like Fervor. I like haste engines like Hammer Perforos. I like haste engines like Temur Ascendancy. Ooh. Yes, that's why my dinosaur decks, red is valuable in my deck, is because those haste engines make my big stompy stomps go roar. And and there's people who love building derpy decks just because they love the style decks. I mean, that's why I started with my dinosaur deck. I didn't know how good dinosaurs were going to be. I knew I didn't want a straight Naya deck for dinosaurs, so that's why I went 5 colors, especially with the Jurassic Park theme. Which, not to toot my own horn, is I'll be getting Jurassic Park cards in the near future. If you didn't know, the Tortoise is crazy about dinosaurs and Jurassic Park, and I'm getting both in September. Woo-woo. Yeah. You know they just made a judge promo of that card too?
Yeah. I was when I saw it, I was like, oh, nope, not it. Damn it. I was hoping it was the Ur Dragon.
Right. It's still a spicy card. Spicy dino. So,
Yeah.
and like you're working out no Eldrazi. So Eldrazi is one of my favorite creature types out there too. Because I remember playing Rise of Eldrazi and the whole landfall sets before like the lower blocks and stuff. That was a crazy time to be in. Conflux is a good set from that time period. Time Spiral was a good set from that time period. I mean, when Eldrazi's came out, that was like the top of the line of being awesome. Conduit of Ruin. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. It's a tutor. And yeah.
I managed to pick that up before this shot up, but again, the Void Renderer Winnower. Oh, it ticks me off.
Yeah. Well, colorless decks are kind of hard to navigate in the beginning because colorless decks has some of the best spells in the world, and that's because colorless fits into any color, except when you get to the hard colorless mana symbols. So colorless works best in a lot of monocolor decks or other color decks as something to filler out with your mana fixing. Like if you need a color spell that ramps, you got some of that, like Solemn Simulacrum will fit in decks that don't mana ramp very well, so that makes it better. But when you build a colorless deck, you're kind of stuck at a certain point. But luckily, Eldrazi's have a couple lands that help them out becoming, better playable decks because there's lands that basically negate high mana values. And you're running Soul Ring.
Right. Well, there's some colorless spells people forgot about. I haven't seen any decks at all, but this one's a good ramp. I mean, it's not really ramp, but you still put it in your hand.
No. It's a good one. I actually highlighted that card one of my older MTG3 videos when Strixhaven came out. Yep, that's 2 mana. Search your library for a basic land, and you put it into your hand, and you gain 2 life. Yep, it's a lesson. And 5 mana exile target non permanent. Control draws a card. Oh yeah, you're
I
replacing
don't like
the card
coming
in
up with
exile.
a card draw, but you could take care of a big threat.
Right. It's a lesson to learn.
Yeah.
Right, but like there's no Colors. If you look into it, has some good removal, good copy spells. There's some powerful cards in colorless. It's just if colorless can run colorless cards, other colors can run it too, and sometimes they fit better. Yeah,
That's
that's what.
another one I was thinking about too, but I don't know.
Ooh. Permanent control ward 2 at the beginning of your end step. Mill 2 cards, exile an online card, random. Graveyard, copy it. You make. Oh, that's not bad. It's kind of heavy mana cost, but given all your stuff, ward 2 is pretty decent.
Yeah, it's a tough call. I couldn't get it in there, so.
I saw that Optimus Prime. What are you
Yeah.
trying to pull here?
Well, that didn't go in.
No, you do not want the Optimus Prime.
Yeah. Yeah, no, these are just like potentials and trying to get these in there. I thought I made room and I didn't. So I was like, because
Yeah.
I'm thinking ramp might be important and,
Removal is important too.
yeah.
Like even Wizards knows the removal is important because they took the board wipe and colorless. I can't remember the name of the card, but they pushed it up to a mythic in that deck.
What was it?
The board wipe that's in the deck.
All will be dust.
Yeah, it'll be dust. They pushed it up to a mythic.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. I'm like, this doesn't seem right.
Right. But colorless doesn't have a lot of board wipes. I mean, you could get a never narrows disc.
True. But I'm wondering on this one. I mean, it is good, but
That deck needs all the ramp it can get.
exactly.
Yeah, that deck. Like, if there was enough colorless proliferation to go along, that deck would have some good support. But there's not a lot of good colorless proliferation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I made some obvious choices. This one seems like it would be fun, but Pathrazor, Crusher, even though it attacks every turn, but whatever. Picked up the spoiler. Of course, the big boys. Conduit, rather. Picked that one up.
Nice.
Serial one. Just because.
Oh, these ramp.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
these two seem like they'd be good.
Yeah. Ugin. More removal. Yeah, the sucky thing about removal in colors, it's kind of expensive.
And of course, Blight Steel.
Blight Steel. Man.
So it's I really want to get these in. And then I was also thinking about Wandering.
Ooh.
Because you could just copy their stuff, like,
Ooh. Blight Steel is a $20 card. Nice. Nice. 31 for the Megatron. He's gone up. Nice. Yeah, one thing I've been noticing. There's a lot of people talking about the price of the cards going down. Prices of certain cards have been going up. Again, probably not to the original price point they used to be, but they're maintaining and sustaining.
Yeah, like the singles have gone up, and then they're going up because people don't want to buy a box at a loss. So it's pretty crazy.
Yep, it is pretty crazy, pretty good. And they keep on flavor with with the theme of today's show is like accidental fun. Is like you got that Eldrazi deck not to bitch and complain about the prices of cards in it. You bought that deck so you can play with some Eldrazi's.
Well, yeah, it's just when you go back though and you're thinking about it, you're like, oh crap, man. You know, anytime you build a deck though.
Oh yeah, every time you build a deck. That's why like my Naya deck needs some ramping. I need to get an Ulamog for my deck. Not the Ceaseless Hunger because I'm trying to keep to the originals. I need to get a original Ulamog for my deck.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm secretly building a second Dinosaurs deck where Eldrazi's are the top of the line. Something in flavor to, because I like Eldrazi's and I wanted something that kind of matches like the time I had a lot of fun with Magic. Like I remember I was a derp who got excited because remember, you used to have good pre-release cards, guaranteed certain cards when you went to pre-releases. And when a Rise of Eldrazi came out, your pre-release card was Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn. Wow. Then I got excited that I pulled a foil Emrakul out of my pack. I even built a deck around it, and my whole night sucked because I had I didn't have two 15s. I had one 15 creature that costed 15 mana that I couldn't cast at all. While my friend across the table pulled some great cards. I was struggling, but I was having fun because I got to cast Emrakul once, and it was awesome. But I lost the game because there was more tokens on the battlefield against me than my Annihilator 6 could handle. I know. So I'm just trying to rebuild the deck that remembers some fun. But Naya's is hard for me because there's not a lot of draw in Naya. I mean, there's a lot of creature draw, so I need to fix the early game of the deck to match the late game because I'm putting some beefy spells because someone named Investable Collectibles sent me this fancy Planeswalker.
Nice.
Not Planeswalker, Eldrazi, yeah. So I want to get he sent me this Eldrazi, but this Eldrazi can't be played in Commander.
Right.
So I want to get Ulamog to top it off. I want to do some big stompy stomp stuff. But I'm always
Prime, are you still here?
Prime. Well, I know he's watching between work, so
I'm wondering if you would want to keep this. I mean,
no, you could probably take that out.
Yeah, because like the manifest thing is interesting, but
and the best thing about him in that deck is he's an early game creature, but I don't know. Manifest. Which is weird that he went with the colorless route because Manifest was a green ability in the set it came out in. So the fact they went colorless is an interesting design choice. But, for those who want to work with it, it'd probably be great in the 99 of a green Manifest deck. But the commander of the Eldrazi deck is pretty solid.
yeah, the commander seems fine. I'm not messing with that.
I felt bad for Prime. Last time we played on Sunday on Zombie Stream before you guys went on a game. I went on your night, Sunday night, and I actually checked out Prime in one hit with my zombie deck because I got Thraximunder up to 14 damage, and this one kid on the game had an enchantment that whenever a creature attacked, you flipped a coin. If it landed a certain way, it doubled the creature's power, and 14 damage doubled by your commander hitting an opponent with commander damage and got Prime out of the game.
Ouch.
Felt so bad. I still feel bad about it, but tonight he wants to do a 1v1 matchup with me to have revenge. Prime Tortoise. Even got a sick thumbnail design for it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I have work or also join you guys later.
Work.
Yo.
Yep. But work is fun. Work is good.
Okay.
Yeah. You just gotta tell yourself the lies in order to believe it.
Right.
Too bad, too bad you can't take like some magic cards to work with you, and during your down times at work you can't just go through your cards and just have fun sorting them until you have to do whatever you have to do. Because I know your line of work, you sometimes have a little downtime. Sometimes you're busy as heck, but something to do in between times is going through your own collection would be nice.
What about that guy? I don't know.
It's mana ramp.
It is.
Yep. I mean, come on, you're running a creature type whose
Yeah, I
current
get
mana
it.
cost
I get
is
it.
huge.
I totally get it. But
Yeah. Ooh.
trying to get it like more efficient too. So it's like, ugh, it's work.
Right.
So what are you working on right now?
The live stream was what I was doing.
No, I know that.
And what is it? All right, I'm texting a friend of mine to let them know I'm live. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Yep. Well, so I got my MTG3 video that I plan on filming this week, Rakdos combos, which is it's going to be a salty video because you know how many one-hit wonders to end a game are in Rakdos? Like player removal, straight up. I got 3 of them.
Really?
Mm-hmm. They're derpy combos because they're kind of expensive, but once you set each of these combos up, you basically go like, okay, end player's turn, and player's out of the game. You're like, what? So, and I don't want to give away the combos, but there's some spicy combos, some fun combos, but all kind of janky. But I think people will love it. I even got a sweet, sweet thumbnail design for it. Because, I'll design a thumbnail for something and share it with a couple people to see how they like it. Get their opinions. Because, I learned that I can't always trust my own judgment when it comes to like how I favor a thumbnail.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I get derpy. So I'll share a thumbnail. Like today, I designed the Prime Tortoise thumbnail and I shared it with Prime. I'm like, what do you think of this? And he's like, oh, that's pretty awesome. But I can't go without saying that AI art has really pimped out my game for designing thumbnails. I accidentally created a new logo for Robert's table last night.
Nice.
Right? Like it was totally non-intentional. Like it wasn't my goal, but I needed a thumbnail for his Mal Day video. And I went to AI and created a Winnie the Pooh type thing that resembled what he had already. And made out this cool wallpaper looking thing. And I'm like, well, why don't I just send Robert this? Maybe he wants this just like for something. And he's like, dude, I'm going to use that as my logo, my icon for now on. I'm like, well, that's good. That's a win for Tortoise.
Yeah.
Let's see. Did you see my thumbnail last night? I should show you. It's pretty cool. Not the thumbnail, but the picture I made for the thumbnail. Let's see. Let's cancel you. Let's go. Did I delete you? Give me a second. I don't think I deleted it. No. What did I do with it? MTG3. I'll just show you the thumbnail. All right. I'm going to show you the thumbnail. Present screen, share screen, window. But you'll see. So that's the thumbnail. Yeah.
Nice.
And he really liked it. And since it's AI generated, there's no copyright on it, so you can use it however you want.
Very nice.
Right? Ooh, bro made me a banger thumbnail for when I stream MTGO drafts. Hell yeah, that was awesome. That was the first thing in the morning. First thing in the morning, I jump on Hillbilly's Live. He's like, Tortoise, I need a thumbnail. I'm like, I just woke up. But yeah, I designed him a pretty good thumbnail too. AI art helped out with that, but I want to show you some. I want to show off some more thumbnails because I've been banging. But like, oh, let me show you tonight's thumbnail. Yeah, this is kind of shilling for myself while you're just doing all this. So,
Hey, it's cool. I'm sorry, I'm sorting while talking. I just
very good. No, this is open forum, so if you have something to say, or want something to say it. Have fun with it. This is chat and chill, basically. So
I was thinking a lot of people don't use this one. Why?
well, in most decks it's not great, but in colorless decks it will work.
Yeah, but it's another one I usually throw in decks for a little, pay 3, look at your top 3, but I'm not feeling it for this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the Eldrazi really need the +1/+1, but
Right. Well, Eldrazi just need to get out. Like, what you should get for that deck if you don't have one is a I'm trying to think of a card. It's an artifact that costs 4 mana, and you pay 4, and you tap it to put a creature card from your graveyard from your hand into play.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I can't remember the name.
It's legendaries only, though.
No. It's an artifact that lets you put any creature.
Yeah, but you have to pay 7 or something for it, right?
No, it costs 4. The artifact costs 4 to play, 4 to activate. You tap it to put a creature card from your hand into play. You know what? Bloop, bloop. While the show on screen, I have the thumbnail for tonight's Prime Tortoise. I have one in here because I need to be able to cheat my big creatures. It's called Quicksilver Amulet. That's what it's called. Let me blow myself up really quick. This card, DJ.
I'm looking.
My laptop camera is not the best for this.
I don't think I have it.
Yeah.
It's for
Formatted play, formatted to activate. You tap it, you put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield.
Okay.
All right. The only issue with this card in an Eldrazi deck is putting a card from your hand into play negates any cast effects. So, like if you throw an original Ulamog onto the battlefield, you're not getting the cast effect of Ulamog. Yeah. Yeah. So
I
uh,
see.
yeah, but when you just want a big banger on the battlefield, that's pretty good. Now I want to show you guys the thumbnail for the upcoming MTG3. Now I'm proud of this one. Yeah. All right. So we stop screen, present, share screen. Yeah, there you go. That's the thumbnail for the next MTG3 video. I had fun with it. Yeah. So yeah. So as we're talking, I'm just gonna leave that up for a bit because sharing is caring. So just a lot of fun things coming up actually this week. Like today, Prime Tortoise is gonna have me and Prime are gonna face off each other. Eldrazi deck versus Naya Stompy Stomp probably, but one thing I want to get into is I know it's hard for people to get involved the way they want to, but because like so much things go around, so much work in their lives they have to navigate is trying to find the enjoyment of what they do with Magic nowadays. Like I get to the point I had to push myself to the point to enjoy making thumbnails for my shows. And I have to and one of the biggest pieces of advice people give you when you're on YouTube and you're YouTube creators, you should work on your thumbnails before you work on your video because the thumbnails give you direction and you also can reflect off the thumbnail the theme that you're portraying. And there's more that delves into it. It's just making thumbnails before the video helps you, or making thumbnails before filming a video. And I know you do a lot of lives, so this doesn't completely go with what you do. But when you're making videos, you make the thumbnails first and it gives you an idea how you want to make the video and how much fun you want to put into the video or what kind of personality you want to have in the video. It's pretty neat. The learning process, like that's what motivates me to do MTG3s more often is if I make a good thumbnail ahead of time, it gets me motivated to actually want to film.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that. Make the title first, then the thumbnail to the title, then the video to the thumbnail and title. Yeah, and you know what? That trick's been working for me, Richie. Like, it kind of pushes a motivation to do the video and work on the video. Like it's like I know when you do live, it's kind of hard, but like imagine this. Like here's where designing a thumbnail for live has helped me. So I put work into a thumbnail for live, and it kind of sets a tenor for the live I'm going with. Like if I create, like for example, like I did thing nabbit. Share screen. So like this is the thumbnail for tonight's live that I showed earlier. But I worked on it because I wanted to set a tenor, and I purposely did the colorless Eldrazi look, even though it does not look like an Eldrazi at all. But it looks pretty cool, and I think people look at it and be like, "Oh, that's supposed to be an Eldrazi or a Cthulhu or something." But this is kind of rooting for Prime to win, and that's kind of the thing is I'm hoping Prime will win because I really feel bad for the night I knocked him out of the game in one swing. But at the same time, let's promote a good, hopefully good quality, like good quality streaming. Yeah. So it's just trying to motivate myself, and I've been working hard on that. And as much as I get into it, it lets me kind of see the flaws I have in other spaces. I have a hard time talking. Like I have a hard time engaging and talking with people on other channels, and it comes with fear of butting heads with people. Like I noticed on the round table, for example, I'm not as talkative on your stream as I am my stream because the conflict of communication baffles my brain, and sometimes I have a hard time getting in, sometimes I have a hard time backing out, and sometimes I feel it's more important to let people talk and get their views straight, and sometimes my mind changes in between times of what I was thinking. So it's weird, but when you start focusing on one thing on your channel, one thing about content creation, it lets you put a focus on one strength, and you start seeing where you can build up in different areas, which is neat. Which is just like magic. I'm tying this into magic because we are a magic stream, everybody. Magic stream. Yes, I'm talking to you, Richie Dubs, Prime, Fro 6, MTG Hillbilly, and everybody else above. We have strengths in magic, and when we put a focus on magic or something in magic like deck building, and we get into the process where we actually enjoy the process of building decks and playing the game, we find our strengths and weaknesses in different areas that we're neglecting, or we find ourselves in a spot where we're doing something a little bit different. We don't know how we feel about it. It gives us the ability to assess the situation more because we've focused on putting a strength in one thing, which opens our mind to looking at other places we can improve. Adam, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Adam?
All right. I came on the round table once. Pat said, "So Richie, tell me," and asked me a direct question. He stopped and I started to answer. And Bob decided he had something more important to say. Yeah. That is definitely believable. What's up, guys? What's up? That's why I started doing the morning coffees, because the morning coffee gives me an outlet to because I used to just wait for the round table to talk about things and get engaged with things, and there's nothing wrong with the round table. But there's certain times where a person like me can start talking and just go stream subject and take up time. And other people are like that too. They get on a subject and they just take up time. And my brain space is, we only got 2 hours to really cover everything, because you got to keep your stream in a watchable length. And
Right.
And so I'm like, well, if I start these morning coffees where I'm actually waking up and thinking of something, I can just talk about it there. Then, as a creator on my end, when I talk about accidental fun with magic here, I pick up some conversations with my friend James or other people in the community, and it gives me fuel for the round table where I feel more prepared, relaxed to go into it. It's like having my own voice in one area and bringing that voice into another area. All right, let's see. Classic Vlad, as I should say. Hey guys, you heard of the band Polyphia? I do not know if I heard the band Polyphia.
Not heard of it, Adam.
And so what I want to tie to magic is, as become a content creator, one thing that bugs, I think, a lot of us as content creators is knowing there's a shit ton of content creators, and we try to watch them all to see what's different about people in their content. How we judge, one thing that bugs me is how I judge myself against other people's content. I work with a lot of free programs, right? And kind of like you, I have these grandeur thoughts of how I want my recordings and lives to be. Like I have this great plan, and my limitations are limited by what I have. So my MTG3 videos I got really depressed with because I couldn't my creativity could not keep up with someone else's production value. Because production value is where some people just go crazy with. Because one guy, I don't know if you know this, and I don't know how much you're on because I don't see you on them, and I don't see you comment or on them a lot, which I don't know if it's because you're sleeping or not. But like Nikachu, I followed him more since he's been on your show, and Kingdoms I've followed more since he's been on your show. Was it Kingdoms?
Yeah.
Well, we have 3 people, and Nikachu, I'm usually on his live. The guy who does the obscure shorts, the obscure cards. That was in Kingdoms.
Oh, Nick's Lotus.
Nick's Lotus, yeah. And I follow Nick's Lotus. I comment on almost every video he posts up. And I've actually asked Nick Lotus about what he uses to make his videos because he does really good videos for being a little short videos about obscure cards.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed the professor has kind of went the Nick's Lotus way of doing some of his video card readings. When he reads a card, he kind of does it, and like I've noticed how other creators do similar things, and there are certain things they can do that I can't because my video editing program is a $40 program. That's basic. It's basic. But I learned that I don't have to match up to people, especially off my last MTG3 video. I don't have to match up to people. What I need to do is distract people with flash and not say, like, here's something flashy. I just needed to do something that popped out. And as long as the content is good, by itself, like if the text, the subtext of the content is good, like the build around it, like combos is what people are interested in. As long as that's good, people will appreciate the extra work you put into the video. So I started blowing up the cards on screen to change something up to show the mana cost. When I say this costs this much mana, when I say this creature or this card is an enchantment, it shows the bar really close to enchantment. So I really started like doing this with like this little action with my hands, but with cards, and people really enjoyed it.
Nice.
It is easier to do. It is easier to do you. That's what I was always told. It is easier to do you. But the problem with me being me is I'm always trying to be better than me. That's the problem with me. And yes, one thing I've learned to do is work in my constraints. Like I remember the first time my wife bought me a camera, and she got me. It's a pretty solid camera for what it is, but it is like the most basic camera ever. It was a 1080p camera that had no focus, stagnant picture, and that's it. That's really what was offered, other than the fact I could use the webcam. And like I wanted to be that kind of person who picked up a card, did this, and showed it on screen, and the camera would focus. Didn't do it. So I had to work in the constraints of what the camera did. So I started working with what the camera could do. Oh, hell, Billy, you are nice. You're just too nice, too nice. So later on, my son and my kid, no, my son and my wife going onto a better quality camera, and they're like, "Oh, you wanted autofocus? This comes with autofocus." Well, the autofocus works, but it has a hard time adjusting depth. The camera has a hard time adjusting depth. I've learned, like if I move too much, the focus goes off and blurs out the screen. I'm like, what? So I learned if I can focus the camera really hard on manual focus, the focus level, the quality of the camera is really good. It's a 4K camera. But like if I get the autofocus to like focus on this curtain and really well, the cards look blurry up close. I try to listen to my body and not my mind. My mind will always lie to itself. That's true. That's true. And, you know, see, one thing a lot of people don't give credit to chat about in general, like we all appreciate chat as creators, but one thing chat does for us as content creators, especially doing lives, is not only do they feed us the dialogue we want and need for a show, but they always give out the advice we're not thinking of. Yes. The chat is just as important as the streamer, the content creator, because the chat is what feeds the streamer his power to be amazing. And that's what makes amazing is they engage the conversation. They make the conversation real. Yes, that was a compliment to everybody in chat, by the way.
Woot.
Whoop, whoop. And really quick, it is that time that I got to play this clip.
My fellow Decepticons, hit that like button for my sake.
Hee
There's his lick.
I know it's AI generated voice.
Nice.
Right. Ew. And thank you for liking the videos for all who has liked the video. But good day. We actually been on for an hour already. Look at you guys. You're rocking it. And DJ's just filtering through cards. Look at him filter through cards. He's like cards. That's a card. That's also a card. So think of the trees.
Crazy process of trying to get a damn deck done.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I need to get a deck ready for tonight. I need to go through cards. I need to figure out what's the deck's build anyways again. I know like the average converted mana cost in this Naya deck of mine is 6 and higher, so that's not good.
All right.
What? Did you guys just up and quit smoking or wean off?
What do you mean?
Yeah, I don't think DJ's ever smoked, other than the Halo.
No, I vape, but anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like Halo. Banjo music. Hold on. Oh, cigarettes? Ooh, that's a tough subject. I know Richie up and quit like right away, for sure. Like he just up and quit.
Oh, good for him.
And he did nicotine gum, and he did a lot of things to pacify his. I know he did a lot of things to pacify his urges and to distract him until the nicotine left his body. It takes about a month for the nicotine to leave your body. It takes about 2 months for your body to forget that nicotine is addictive, and it takes about 3 months for your lungs to fully heal from it. So you got to plan out 3 months, quit. Yeah, quit by going to vaping. No doubt. No doubt.
So I think here I'm gonna get the last couple Eldrazi I'm missing,
Right.
and then take out some of the extra stuff. That way, it's like tribal pure.
Right.
I won't say it'll be tribal good, but yeah, like it wants to go there, but I'm missing some of the key ones. Some of the other ones just don't make sense. Like it's too much of a hookup to your opponent to play, and it's like,
No, it makes sense. No, it makes sense. But it is the deck building.
What's that?
So it's part of deck building. I didn't want to pick up vaping, but I reserved it as a last resort failsafe. If I was going to fail, it was going to vaping first. So you had a mindset. All I know, if you want to quit smoking, you gotta plan 3 months of your life around it and stick to it. Because that's when the nicotine leaves your lungs. Like that's when tobacco leaves your lungs. It gives you that time to heal, and that's enough time to break a habit. And you have to fight yourself in the beginning. 3 months. Then don't forget, if you want, because I know a lot of people have a hard time with this. If you want to quit smoking and you plan out 3 months, you gotta plan something to reward yourself in that 3 months time span. You gotta plan something. You gotta make yourself a goal. You gotta fight yourself. You quit drinking a month ago. Now you're smoking more. It's because your body's trying to keep up. So you quit drinking, so you gave up one habit, but you're trying to forget about drinking by smoking more. That's what's happening here.
Yeah.
That's what's happening here, and the smoking is affecting you. You need to find something to do with your hands to distract you. You're welcome. Ugh. I mean, as long as it's helpful. Hey, DJ.
Yo.
There's dinosaurs coming out in a couple months, and Jurassic Park's going to be part of them.
I know.
I know. I'm just
You're excited.
I'm so excited.
Hell yeah.
So we're getting 2 secret layers that coincide, and we're getting cards like the Transformer cards for the Jurassic Park set in the packs. Ooh.
Very nice.
Yep. Well, Rishi, it's not as hard. It's not hard to quit smoking. It's hard to stay away from smoking. It's a lot of issues people have. It looks like a giant mountain in front of you. But once you start going, easier. Yep.
How many lands should you put in rats?
How many lands should you put in rats?
Yeah.
I don't even know the deck list to even say, well, this is what your converted mana cost is. This is what you're doing. All I know, my basic answer to anything is you want 36 to 37 lands based on the converted mana cost. If your converted mana cost is like 4 or higher for the average cost, you want 37 lands. 38 is where I'm most comfortable at. Like I like the higher lands, especially for bigger spells. You never want to go below 36, and 36 I think is a little light for most decks. Being a monocolor deck, you could probably run 36, but I run 37. So that's all up to you, bud. Just do not go below 36 at all.
Right. No, I got that. I was like surprised with Eldrazi needing so much mana. Like it only had 38. I was like, what?
38 is actually a pretty decent number to start with. Especially in a deck that doesn't ramp very well.
Right.
You need those lands to play your 4-drop mana dorks or your X spells. There's a reason for that design. I could tell that by the way you said there's 38. There's a reason for 38 lands, especially when most of your converted mana cost is huge. Tom Mitchell, what's up?
What's up, Tom?
I see you. I hear you. You guys are awesome. Let's see. Just gotta have fun. You gotta enjoy the little things. And you got dinosaurs. Then we're going to Ravnica. Like, we're getting the remastered set. You know how I'm excited I am for that remastered set? Woo! Woo! Like, there's not a lot of cards in Ravnica that are expensive at all, except for the Shocklands. That's going to maintain a lower price value so you can buy more cards.
Yeah, but I mean, what's out of those sets? I mean, we're gonna get yet another reprint of Doubling Season.
Possibly. Doubling Season is a card they don't have to reprint in there because Doubling Season doesn't fit the themes of Ravnica very well, except for just Simic and Gogori that works with counters. So Doubling Season can actually not hit the market in that set, and the set will still be good. But if they're trying to push money cards in it, then yeah, I can see them putting that in there. So there's a Void Slime, which is like a $5 card. Assuming they stay, like, my assumption is they're going to stay away from War of the Spark. Because that's kind of like its own story on Ravnica instead of Ravnica themed. So you got some good planeswalkers. You got dredge spells that are going to be reprinted. I'm assuming dredge is going to be in there. Zorius is going to have some detaining abilities, I believe. Because I don't think they're going to bring back the old Zorius. Excuse me. They're not going to bring the old Zorius mechanic where you just reveal a card in your hand for effect. Then I don't think, but like there's some core commons in there, like Calling Oracle is going to be printed in there somewhere. Not an expensive card by any means, but there's going to be, man, like if you're looking for like the super money value cards, you're probably not going to find a lot of them. But if you're going to find a fun draft, that's where you're going to find a lot of it. Because like the last two sets before Spark Magic Allegiance and Return to Ravnica blocks were designed to fit with each other, to draft with each other, even though they're two different blocks. Then the original Ravnica has some synergies that go with those. Cloudstone Curio, that's actually a good one. Then like you're gonna because like they're doing a remastered set. I don't know how many of the copies they're gonna do. Like, there's 3 different Niv Mizzets before you get into the 5 color Niv Mizzet. So I have no idea what that's gonna be like. Yeah. I don't know if they're gonna run all 3. Then you got all the guild leaders, which some are good. Like the one that still has some value is Augustus, the Augustine the Fourth or whatever, the guy who makes your opponent's spells cost more and yours cost less. He has some money. A lot of reprint value has been taken out of Ravnica just in general, but Ravnica, it's not one of those sets that you're going in for the money's value. You're going in for the draft experience, and that's all I can honestly say. The draft experience of Ravnica is pretty spot on. And there are counter synergies. Like you have like he's not worth a lot of money, but you have the Corpse Jackson Menace who doubles counter +1 counters on creatures when they come into play. Then you have like good graveyard synergies. You have good good graveyard synergies between Azorius, Demir, and Gogori. And that's because of Jumpstart is an ability from, see you later, Richie. Robert's table. Ba-ba-bam. Coffee is great. I'm kind of out of coffee right now. It's coffee, mocha. I need to refill my coffee. You want to jump on, or are you just chilling? Because they're gonna be on for like another 15 minutes, maybe half an hour. Yeah, the new icon looks pretty badass the way it is. Like, like that looks pretty cool. Like, I'm proud of that accidental goodness there.
That is pretty dope.
Yeah. Like, I totally didn't realize. I didn't know that's how it was going to come out in the response I put into it. Because I'm like, Winnie the Pooh surrounded by lightning, holding a laser sword, and that's what came up. All right. Let's see. There you go. All right. There you go. Sent link. Man, you just chilling. Woo, woo, woo. So, but like when it comes to Ravnica, I think you're gonna have a lot of fun times. Like if my ideology for jumping into Ravnica is jumping for the play experience. Don't jump in for the money value. To me, this is my most nostalgic set since the set I loved the most and I started with was Ravnica. You know, it's not like Dominaria where there's massive reprint after massive reprint. There's a lot of cards in the Ravnica blocks that are just jank, that don't like jank and price value. Hello.
Hey, good morning. How's
Good
everyone
morning.
Hey,
doing?
what's up, man?
Just stayed home from work today. Said screw it. I need some time, so that's why I'm late here.
Very good. All right. Now I'm gonna go grab some coffee and I'll be right back while you two just kind of come up. It's gonna take me less than a minute.
Sure.
No worries.
Yeah. So I was listening to Tortoise, and yeah, my only complaint about Ravnica Remastered is we've been there too many times.
Yeah.
That's my only complaint. It's such a rich plane. It's fun cards, awesome themes. You know, we've just been there a lot, and I'm like, and then after that, Innistrad Remastered, the other place where we've been to a lot, and it's like, man, okay, you know, and they're both great. It's just like I want to go somewhere else sometimes too.
Right. Well, we have some new sets to look forward to. But...
Yeah. You know, like, and finally in 2025, we're getting Return to Lorwyn, so that's sweet.
Oh yeah.
Go for that.
And then I think they were saying Return to Tarkir or something, so that's pretty sweet. So
What must be nice, Prime? You want to jump in too? I thought you're at work.
yeah, come jump in, Prime. Hang out. Oh no, because I took the day off. That's why he's saying. Well, it's because yesterday I could only hold down a muffin all day. That was all I ate the whole day, and then I was up all night with stomach issues. So yeah, I was like, yeah, no sleep. I shouldn't be out on the road driving.
No. So I heard what you said about Ravnica. Yeah, we visited Ravnica a lot. The remaster set doesn't bother me compared to going to Ravnica for some mystery set is weird to me. Like the remaster set to me is a great chance to be for singles just to even out. Even though it's just weird because you know they're going to overprice Ravnica for a bit. Like the product's going to be worth more money than it should be because there are a lot of cards in Ravnica are not banger cards. You know, and so, but to me, especially for me who wants to build a cube around Ravnica, this is going to make cards more accessible to me, and I already have cards for it. You know, but like I said, you don't go to Ravnica for the money. I mean, there are money cards in Ravnica, but there's not a lot. You're going there for the draft experience.
Exactly. You know, you're going for the You get to draft Ravnica again, which, you know, for like me, I was around in the Ravnica draft back then. It was awesome.
Oh,
But
yeah.
a lot of newer players have not experienced that before. Like, even if you started 3 years ago, you know, when was the last time we went to Ravnica? What, War of the Spark? And that was it.
Right.
And that was more just like Planeswalker Bonanza set, not really truly Ravnica.
Right.
So,
And it makes it like I think we're going back to Ravnica, not the remaster set, the mystery set. Because I think, and this is my conspiracy theory, that we're going to release Nicol Bolas and Ugin from their constraints.
yeah.
And I think that's what the murder mystery is going to be about, which will be kind of cool. But like, let's not screw this up, people. Make it worthwhile.
Honestly, so I'm a fan of the lore.
Yeah.
I think Jace is ultimately going to be the next big bad.
Jace?
Uh-huh.
That makes sense. He started out as a bad character.
Yeah, I think he's going to end up being the next big bad, that his time being connected with Phyrexia, you know, even though all the planeswalkers who didn't get cured, uncompleted or whatever,
Right.
those planeswalkers are still stuck in a coma. He doesn't need his body. He just needs his mind. Wherever he is, we don't know where he went as part of the Phyrexian invasion.
I don't even know if he's been desparked or not. There's certain things you don't know.
Exactly. So he can be in his body on a hidden plane somewhere and send his mind out across the universe and do whatever the hell he wants to do. So
right. He can do whatever he wants to do. And if he's the big baddie, look, I'd love to have a big bad Jace. I'm a fan of Jace, and if he's a good bad, but if he becomes a baddie, I'm not going to complain. If he's a good guy, still fine. He's just one of my favorite planeswalkers. I mean, that's what my custom playnout is all about, Jace. Like I want, like I was actually excited, even though it doesn't count, that Jace was a blue-white planeswalker in the Unset. Yeah, but I was excited that they showed us a multicolored Jace.
Yeah.
Now, I'm hoping we do get a multicolored Jace. So if Jace shows up in Ravnica, I'm hoping, like, can you imagine if he was the first 5-colored planeswalker we got in Standard?
Oh my gosh. Well, he's already busted anyway. He's Jace. He's automatically broken. So, except for Jace Mirror Mage.
Right, but I would be giddy if that was the case. We got Jace as a 5-color planeswalker. That'd be nuts. Even if he's 3 colors, he better be Sultai in my book, or Grixis.
Jace and Vraska come together as one planeswalker.
Vraska is desparked.
Ooh, naughty.
So I think Vraska is desparked. I mean, we get one planeswalker per set now, and she's in the Cowboy set.
Yep. Yep. Because that's where apparently all the villains go to hang out.
Apparently, the Old West, which is exciting in its own right. I mean, the best thing that came out of the 3-year spoiler video, besides Jurassic Park and Ravnica to me, is that it gave us a roadmap to see all the exciting things, and that they've been listening. They've been working hard on getting these IPs, which some of them are weird. I know my friend Chase is going to love the Final Fantasy set when we eventually get there.
Yeah.
But like, they gave us a roadmap, and it kind of showed us what it was going to do, and it's going to and I think they did. I think they strategically did this on purpose to keep players who've been negotiating themselves out of the game to stay in the game to see if they like, because normally they wouldn't do a 3-year plan like this.
Yeah, normally they just show 1 year.
Right.
So this is something new that they're doing, and honestly, I think it's friggin' genius.
It is.
It both excites the old players, giving them, hey, look, we found your IP and we're working with them, so finally your IP gets to be on Magic cards.
Oh yeah.
And then it's going to advertise out to other players, hey, you know what? You love Fallout? Guess what? You can play Fallout with Magic. So I think freaking genius.
Oh yeah, because the Fallout ones are gonna be commander decks like Warhammer.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm looking forward to Fallout. They need to do a ghouls deck. I need a bunch of freaking immortal zombies.
Immortal combat.
Immortal combat.
You know, I actually watched the trailer for Mortal Kombat 1 coming out, and I was actually disappointed in that trailer.
Gosh,
Which one?
I can be honest with this. I have not been excited about Mortal Kombat since I was like, when it first came out, when I was 10?
Yeah.
Or 12, 13, somewhere in there. Yeah. It's been a minute.
Yeah. Investable collectibles. When are you going to open up my package I sent you?
Did you get that thing he sent you?
Yeah, did you get that thing?
Yeah, can't play clip, sorry.
What is it? No, investable collectibles and I sent each other birthday packages. And I already opened up mine for a Mail Day video. And I think he's probably waiting till his birthday to open it up, but it's bugging me because I want to see his reaction to some of the cards I sent him because I might have oversent value to him.
Ooh.
And there's a random thing in there. Like, I'm just waiting to see his opening video, and it's got me crazy. Oh, he's recording it tonight. Nice.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Woo, woo, woo. Like, if you watched my ML Day video for investable collectibles, he somehow like planned this whole thing out. Like he knew how to stack a package together. And I'm like, I can't do something this fun. And I technically could have reused some of his own packaging to do what he did, but I didn't want to reuse packaging. So I did 3 different things that I think are going to set up some fun things through something random in there. It's going to be interesting. Like I'm waiting for the response in this one particular thing I think he'll enjoy just because how classic it is. And it's so far from magic that he's going to just enjoy it for what it is. and I'm trying not to give spoilers.
So you sent him a Squirtle.
A Squirtle. Well, I know some of the stuff I sent to them is what's the term?
Awesome.
No, there's a quote I'm trying to remember. I can't remember the quote. It would give it away, but if I told you what it was from, but the quote that give away what some of the jank that's in there.
Wow.
Oh, some of the things I sent to you are crap and A. I can't think of it. I just had it in my head and it just evaded my brain. Oh, some of the stuff I sent you is going to places that no one's boldly gone before.
That's a quote from Dune, isn't it?
No.
Oh. Bad monkey, no banana.
Robert knows what it's from.
how to tick off a bunch of nerds.
Dude, I love Patrick Picard in Star Wars.
That's right. Use the force, Harry.
Use the Schwartz.
Use the Schwartz.
Oh man, yeah. There's upcoming. Honestly, there's a few sets I'm really looking forward to. Few product lines. There's some I'm looking forward to, like the murder mysteries thing on Ravnica. It's kind of interesting, but I would have expected that to be on Innistrad or one of the other darker realms.
Right.
But where there's detectives and murders anyway.
Right. Well, so the interesting catch.
Why are we wasting our time here? There was just a mass killing up the street.
the interesting catch about the returning to Ravnica it's not going to be guild based. We're not going to Ravnica to focus on guilds and what they do different.
Yeah.
Right. So it's going to be excuse me, it's going to be a multicolored set about a murder mystery, which I think until I'm proven wrong, which could be very easy, is is that the murder mysteries involving someone who probably guarded this floating thing in the air holding Ugin and Nicol Bolas, like that thing that they sent you. But yeah, so I got a feeling this is going to be the thing that sets him loose, because Nicol Bolas needs to really be handled with. But
we can't kill off our number one magic villain.
And people love Ugin. They want Ugin back.
Yeah, there's people who like Eugene and people who like Rapunzel, and I mean, come on.
Rapunzel. That's a hairy situation.
That's
Ha ha.
I just got a mental image I can't talk about.
God.
That's funny. But yeah.
Oh my. But yeah, no, I think you're probably onto something, and it could be interesting. I find my desire for it a little lower than other products. Like I'm really looking forward to Duskmorn.
Yeah.
The 70s, 80s horror type stuff. I'm like, okay, so we could see Leatherface in there. We could see Freddy Krueger or something esque to that.
Right. They haven't said anything, but they probably got some IPs to put Freddy Krueger in like a card you can pull, like an alternate skin or something. They probably got Jason Voorhees in there for you to do. They probably got Michael Myers going on in there. Cards you can pull these great classics. I mean, who knows? Maybe you'll get the alligator from Lake Placid.
Right. No, I want the snakes on a plane, damn it.
Right.
Damn it. If there's no snakes on a plane, it's no bueno.
Right.
And there has to be an MF or bleeped out somewhere on the card.
Right. But what if you got a morph card, like a morphling kind of card of the thing that just changed what it does? I mean, and the skin was the thing, and it showed like some creepy, scary face pulling itself off a body. I mean,
yeah,
there's
that'd
a
be
lot
sweet.
of things. Yeah.
Oh, they could even do Ash from Evil Dead series.
Dude,
that was considered horror at one point.
Well, though the first movie was a horror movie, the second movie was just straight up a comedy.
Yeah, the second and thirds were just that was just comedy. As soon as they went to Army of Darkness, it was like, oh my god, come on, guy, this is cool.
Well, it's kind of like Critters, if you remember that movie. The first movie was supposed to be more serious, but the take on the franchise was like, well, this is kind of a funny movie, so they kind of diverted from the seriousness with it and kind of made it more of a staying power with comedy as what it was, because like these little porcupine fur balls are taking over the world basically, and we got to stop this invasion, and they bind up, make a big ball, and they can do weird things. I mean, I love the Critters franchise. I need to get the 4 movie collection again. 4 movie collections to have in my collection, but
right. I love all the old horror franchises. I even watch the horror movies now, and I'm like, okay, well, they're good, but they're not Nightmare on Elm Street 1 good.
No, Nightmare on Elm Street hasn't been as good ever since the first movie. Like, no matter how good the first remake was that they did, because that was actually a fairly decent movie.
Yeah,
it still wasn't as good as the first original movie, and it's not like Jurassic Park where they've never were able to compare to the first time you ever seen it. No, it's just the technology back in the day pushed them to be more creative in certain ways, where people just abuse the technology of today to make life easier for them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, good times.
Yeah. That's a lot of things that people do. Like a lot of Hollywood does. Is this new technology, like when CG was new, people were pushing the bounds of what they can do with CG. Like one movie that still has CG that holds up today, even in its timed, what do you call it when something represents its time frame of life? Like
yeah.
Like The Matrix is still a great movie.
Oh, it is.
They pushed the realms of what could be done in the Matrix. They pushed the realms of what they could do with CG.
Yeah.
And they really pushed for it to look so good that even though you can tell the time frame it came out, the CG still stands as really good CG for its time. And as much as I don't like the Matrix movies as I do Jurassic Park, but it holds up with Jurassic Park in the first movie, really pushed the elements of this is what you can do.
Yeah.
This is how great it looks.
Yeah, they did. Those movies were excellent, and I'm gonna admit it. I'm gonna say it. The prequel movies, the Star Wars prequels, really pushed the boundaries with CG as well. Like Lucas really, really pushed how far you could go at the time. It was crazy.
Oh yeah, they did a lot, and I think the biggest trick that the Star Wars the prequels did was not just pushing the boundaries of CG, right? Because there's crap CG in that movie, and if I was watching, I'd point out like there's a lot of Jar Jar Binks scenes that are bad. But
he's just bad.
But what the best thing the Star Wars prequels did for Hollywood was learn to blend in reality with CG very well.
Exactly. And that was one of Lucas's big things, even when he did the first Star Wars movies, was making something look realistic that really was not making, playing with camera angles and stuff to make the Death Star look bigger and the trench run and such. And it was, a pool table. Right. You didn't know.
No, and that's awesome. Like one of my favorite things when it comes to film, when you're watching like a sci-fi movie, is when you're in like a spaceship and the spaceship's all practical effects and the only CG is on the computers or some holographic chess game people are playing.
Right.
It's those little elements to help blend in the reality of the fiction you're watching.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Those little tricks, those cute little tricks.
Right. Pumpkinhead. Yeah,
yes.
That's another one.
Adam. We got to have Pumpkinhead in there.
Pumpkinhead.
And we need to have some of the Stephen King franchise in there as well. I think that'd be pretty sweet.
Give
me Firestarter in a Magic the Gathering set. I will be happy.
Still on Aliens versus Predator, damn it.
Yeah, there's no Aliens versus Predator, but that'll come.
I know.
That'll come, bro.
Thank you. So it took me years to watch Pumpkinhead. Not because I stayed away from the movie. It's just a movie that never intrigued me. But I remember seeing the McFarlane version of Pumpkinhead, thinking that figure was cool, like really cool.
Yeah.
Then I watched the first movie, and the movie was pretty decent, but it came out to be that the figure they used from Pumpkinhead, like the monster, very underutilized in its own franchise.
That's true. That's true. You've got a big, bad, scary thing. You need to be using that big, bad, scary thing. It seemed a little off.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. 90s, wild time.
Right? You know what I want. Yeah, all right. And this is just personally, if I could afford it, in which I'd have to have millions and billions of dollars to do it, but I can't. Is I want Hollywood to make a Ninja Turtles movie in the same ways they worked the original movies where the suits were puppeteered.
Yes.
That practical effect, so they don't have to focus the CG on the turtles. And they can use CG everywhere else to blend in wherever they want to, whatever. But I want to feel like the turtles are real again.
Yeah, I saw some of the newer stuff and I'm like, man, they don't feel like the turtles from back in the 90s. It just doesn't feel the same.
Right. And it doesn't feel as relatable. I mean, that's what kids loved about the Ninja Turtles. They're like, I can relate to them or I want to be like them. But now, what Michael Bay did with the Turtles is kind of a travesty because not only did he make them look different, big and bulky, The Turtles aesthetic wasn't super horrible, but it made them more unrelatable to being teenagers. Fast-paced movies, dialogue, relationships that really had no time to arc in the
Yep.
story. But like they pushed the Turtles from being something more relatable to here's flashy turtles, buy these toys.
Yep, exactly. I feel the same way. It didn't feel quite right. You know, when you look back on the turtles' enemies, they were always made to be big and bulky for the most part.
Right.
And while the turtles were teenagers, you know, fighting against big, bulky, mean guys.
Right.
So
Yeah. And when the turtles are bigger than the average adult, they're not doing well. Like in the original cartoon, it's hard to tell when is when, but the turtles are actually supposed to be shorter than adults.
yeah, they were supposed to be smaller than people, and then Master Splinter was supposed to be like Hobbit sized almost, maybe a little bigger.
Right. What's funny is in the original 1990s movie, there's a scene where they tried making the turtles look smaller on screen, even though there's a lot of times you can tell they're adult-sized turtles. There's a scene where they're leaving April's apartment and they tried making the turtle look 3 feet tall, and it just didn't fit well with the whole aesthetic. So he just never did anything like that again in the show.
Yeah.
But you know, there's great times. Like people will knock on how well they don't really knock on, but they'll look back at movies and realize how imperfect they are. Like in the Turtles movie, when the scene Raphael's waking up in the tub, and is it Leonardo or some characters like opening his mouth, and you see the actor's face in his mouth.
Yeah, those days are gone, and but it was fun back then to catch those things and be like, ah, ha, ha.
Right.
Yeah.
But now if they used the aesthetic, like I was telling you, if they went back and kind of did the same thing to make a Turtles movie, they could CG over that face, no problem, and it wouldn't look bad.
Yeah.
MTG. Oh, Mrs. Hillbilly is like Chucky.
Yes. Give me the little evil doll.
Yeah. Like an onset, it would be pretty funny to see Blazing Saddles. Yeah. Spaceballs too.
That would be funny, but I don't think they would ever touch that these days.
Right?
just because of the political environment, where back then satire was known as satire, and
right. Can you imagine an onset all based on Mel Brooks movies?
Oh my god. History of the World Part 1. Jeez Louise.
Nice.
Get History of the World Part 1, Blazing Saddles, Spaceballs. Oh my god.
Young Frankenstein.
That would all be awesome.
Oh yeah.
It's funny. Like, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to comment on the like some players are complaining about all the, universes beyond and IPs and stuff. I really think this is kind of necessary for Magic to grow.
It is.
We're bringing in players who love these IPs. Like This is, in this day and age, no other card company is doing this. Pokemon's not like, hey, I'm going to make Pokemon, but Yu-Gi-Oh also, or whatever. Pokemon, but some other anime IP. They're staying Pokemon. And I think this is, it doesn't feel like old Magic, but it's definitely a turning point. But I think this is necessary at this point to kind of bring in the new blood.
No, it makes sense. And you know what? The whole hold on, what is it? Richie says, I disagree. Magic thrives for 27 years. 27 years without infiltration of other IPs, which is fine. But I got a different perspective to that. That I see, though, going to different IPs is surreal to me, because when I started getting into the cube realm of building cubes and whatnot, me and my friends would talk about, well, what if we made a cube about Mario Brothers? What if we made a cube about video games? Like, can you imagine playing Magic the Gathering? You have Samus going against Pikachu, against Mario, against Yoshi, against Donkey Kong. And like we were trying to brainstorm how Magic cards versions of these cards would be. So the fact that we're actually getting these IPs in Magic, not all of them that I just listened, but we're getting different IPs like Jurassic Park, which is my thing. But we've had I think the weirdest breakthrough was Warhammer. It's weird because there's an IP on another game, so it wasn't really branching out. But now we know they can step out into more IPs like The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead was a weird branch out because they got a lot of negative feedback from it, but it was one of the best selling sets of their time. So they know there's space for it. But now the fact that they're branching into more IPs more quicker, it's either they're going to burn out quick or it's going to build up from there to see how your IP fits into their world.
Yep, exactly. And what the way I'm looking at it from my perspective, if we want to talk financial numbers, we have Lord of the Rings, best-selling Magic set of all time, projected to be. It's already well on track to being the best-selling Magic set of all time financially.
Right, and it was one of the perfect things to go into as an IP too.
Yeah, and it's a fun, immersive experience. I'm a Lord of the Rings nerd.
Right.
I know the lore history. I've read the books hundreds of times at this point. And so for me, it was a very exciting set because I get to see my favorite characters put onto cards.
Right.
Not talking about artwork and artists.
No, I get what you're
whatever.
saying.
Just
artwork aside, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
And then going into Fallout, like I get one of my favorite video game franchises on cards. And like Warhammer was weird because Warhammer and Magic have kind of been like, there's not many players who do both in my experience. Most people pick one lane or the other. And 27 years of being just Magic the Gathering, and it was just Magic the Gathering, I feel like it limited Magic's potential growth.
Right.
Because, you talk to a layman and you ask them, hey, what do you think about the new Jace card? Well, what the hell's that?
Right.
But do you know who Nicol Bolas is? No. Okay. Do you know who Rick from Walking Dead is? Rick Grimes. Oh, yeah. That can bring in more players, and then they can immerse into the Magic lore, and then we can go forward.
All right, really quick. Richie Dub says, not to be a hater, but it feels like cheap pandering to me with these IPs, which is fine. It, like if when it's like a cheap grab, yes. But with certain IPs, Wizards is gonna take care of, like Lord of the Rings. And so, Robert, were you mad that Tom Bombadil's card was tempted by the ring?
No. Although it shouldn't have been, because lore-wise, he's unaffected by it. Although he did state it was a funny sensation. What a funny little thing when he slipped it on. And so, yeah, I can kind of see it. I don't see it as being, he shouldn't have been, it shouldn't cause ring temptation to watch Tom Bombadil put it on. It should make you go, what the hell?
Right.
This dude puts it on and nothing happens, but everyone else puts it on and something happens. So,
right.
And he made it disappear. He made the ring disappear.
Ooh.
So Tom Bombadil did. He just literally made it disappear and made it reappear and then handed it back to Frodo.
Yeah, I read the books once, and for some reason, I don't remember Tom Bombadil's character in the book.
He was right at the very beginning, basically, and they basically didn't talk about him anywhere else.
Oh, that makes sense. Because, what annoyed me about the books is all the songs in the original books. Like, I don't know if they've taken them out, but, the time, at the end of a certain story arc, they'll have someone singing a song about all the journeys they just took.
Right.
Like, oh, man. Because, when I say I read the books, I listen to the audiobooks. All right. And some guy sang the song in the books, and his voice singing was not up par. I'm like, my lord.
Yeah, there was a lot of singing and a lot of poetry
Which
and a lot of stories and tales in the books, and yeah, it was a little off-putting. But then again, the time frame the book was written, like I'm sure you've seen Princess Bride.
yeah, my favorite movie.
If you ever read the book, there is literally a 27-page chapter devoted to describing a princess's hat collection. I'm not freaking kidding you, man. It's bad. And both books were written around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So the fantasy writers figuring out how to fantasy write before there was fantasy writing, in essence.
If you read, you mean glanced at briefly in a bookstore, then yeah, sure, I read it. That's funny.
Yeah, so, yes, this move from, doing the Universes Beyond is kind of pandering. WotC is reaching out and trying to get, their business. They're trying to make more money, so they need to get more players. As players leave, you have to have players come in order to make money. And yeah, so it kind of is pandering, but then again, it's cool pandering to those who enjoy that IP.
Right.
For those who don't enjoy the IP, whatever. Like, if you are one of the 5 people who don't like dinosaurs, Jurassic.
Obviously, dinosaurs are not for you.
Yeah, Jurassic World, not for you. But maybe you'll like something else.
Right,
and so I think it's kind of cool that they're trying that they tried it out. They got some negative feedback, because I think most of the negative feedback was that they created cards that were only in the secret lair, like with The Walking Dead, and you couldn't get them anywhere else. So unless you bought in at their price direct from them, you were not getting those cards.
That was the biggest complaint. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that this change that they're doing, where, putting them on the list with different artwork and different name, and, releasing IPs as its own set, is a solid move, because then people can get the cards and they don't have to buy direct from Wizards and bypass the secondary and tertiary markets. So
I love Transformers as a kid. It was probably my favorite show. The MTG Transformers crossover did nothing for you. Well, to be honest with you, there's a lot of Transformers that don't do nothing for most people's decks. So I understand that. Like the Secret Lair Transformers did something for me. He gave me the ability to buy a Blightsteel Colossus I wouldn't have been able to afford at the time.
Yeah, because Blightsteel was like 50 when that Secret Lair came out, right?
Yeah.
And then you got Blightsteel, Darksteel, and Doubling Cube for like $30. That was a hell of a deal.
Yeah, and I run them in my Atraxa deck. Yeah.
Which goes to show Wizards does pay attention to the secondary market, because if they didn't, they wouldn't have offered that hell of a deal.
No, you're right. And it was a good deal. Like, luckily I was able to get onto it, and that was awesome.
Yep, exactly. So you get your Blightsteel, your Darksteel. Yeah, it's got different artwork, but it's still Blightsteel, still Darksteel, still a Doubling Cube.
Hell yeah. And Doubling Cube is very powerful. All right. That card has helped me win games.
Yeah. Doubling Cube is nasty.
Especially in a 4-color Atraxa deck. Woo! I was surprised how much it helped out. I'm like, it's letting me play my bigger spells.
Yeah. In the certain circumstances, it's better than Black Lotus. It's like, I just tap this damn thing and I get freaking 10 mana in my mana pool, and I don't lose it.
Like, if I was a degenerate, I could take apart my Bat deck with Chillane, take out my what is it? The green enchantment that doubles my mana, and put it into and focused on my Atraxa deck to be a big mana heavy thing. I could probably produce a crap ton of mana and play like the most obnoxious spells. Was it Mana Confluence? Not Mana Confluence. Mana Reflection.
Mana Reflection, yes.
And if I dug in my cube and tore out my Mirari's Wake, I could throw that in there too.
Yeah, I built a big mana boost deck a while back just to see how quick I could accumulate fast mana, and that was the entire purpose of the deck, was get fast mana, find my one Crackle with Power, and blast everybody with massive amounts of damage. It worked out really well.
Yeah, Crackle Power is pretty solid.
This rat deck is weird.
It's weird.
Yeah. I have 0 relentless rats and 0 of the Dom rats.
The rat colonies.
Yeah, no rat colonies.
Oh, you're just going for Rat Stompy then. That's cool. That'll work.
Well, it's interesting. There's a lot of discard, but I mean, I have the staples, you know, right? This one's
You
actually
got the Bugler rats in there. The
I'm not sure.
burglar rat.
Yeah, it should be in there, but
Yeah.
These are now black staples, so we're going to be making tokens eventually. That's potential, but I'm not sure yet. Stronghold's amazing.
James,
What's going on, Mr. Willis?
Wait late.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see names.
Oh, pestilence rats. Pestilence rats. I won tournaments with that back in the day, man.
But that's what I have for rats. I mean, that's, I don't know. I'm still kind of going through it, but I have a little bit of recursion, some exile, a lot of sack. I'm wondering how much sack. You know what I mean, though. But I don't know.
Well, I saw earlier you touched on the Eldrazi packet. Now you're talking about how much sack you have.
I know. And it's infested with rats.
It's infested with rats. You got a rat Eldrazi packet sack.
Yeah, I just got turned on to this card right here. And if I'm sacking like crazy, this should do the things.
Brad, you're running Dictate of Erebos in there with the damn rats? Jeez.
Yeah.
How mean are you?
You're running on a black. You got a Grave Pact in that deck too?
No Grave Pact. I don't have it.
Not yet. When I open one in the Commander Masters, I think he'll probably buy it.
Well, if I have money. My money's tied up. Like, I really want that freaking
the Urborg. Oh, and the
Omnix. Oh, and the Urborg, yeah.
Yeah, Dictate of Erebos and Grave Pact are cards everybody wants in their mono black decks. Like I need to get a Grave Pact and a Dictate of Erebos for my enchantments deck I'm getting. They're just solid.
Record breaking amounts of sack.
Yeah. All the sack.
All the sack. Every sack.
Yeah, there was some more discard stuff that I was messing with. Like, I have a huge pile over here, but for some reason this is what it narrowed down to. I don't know if it's any good or not.
All right. When you look at your deck, what is the synergies between that, your removal spells, your sacrifice outlets, and your draw power? Because your deck's not gonna let it prime. Like your deck's not gonna function well if it can't keep with draw. Everything's low CMC. Don't have removal to stop the board, and you obviously don't need mana fixing because you're a mono black.
Right.
So so what's the synergy sweet spot to keep you in tempo?
Well, that's what I'm trying to determine. I mean,
you using Ashcoat as your commander?
No.
No.
Nope.
Ooh. Oh, Caramonics.
Mm-hmm.
So you need lots of creatures then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm finding myself like kind of going like more sack outlet and a little bit of recursion bringing creatures back, but a lot of the rats were discard heavy, so I was going there, and then I'm like, well, I need my regular staples, and man, it's just difficult.
Now, with a lot of the rats, is it each opponent, each player, or what? What's the discard? I know Shadow Rats is what the person it connects with.
Yeah, well, when it deals combat damage to a player, each player discards a card, so that affects me. You can sack a creature, target player discards a card.
Okay. That's versatile.
you
I mean,
Nashi.
you can choose yourself.
Yeah. Nashi, Ashcoat, Maronar. There was something that I saw with this one. Oh yeah, I could pay 1 and make a discard. I'm missing the one that reduces hand size down to 2. That I really could use that.
The misers.
Yeah. Waiver Rats, of course. This guy's pretty cool. This one's each. And then, of course, you have Ink Eyes. I have both the Flippy Rats in here.
Well,
They're hella cheap.
You did good until then, buddy. I hope you can sustain, but that's a long time to wait.
Yeah, that is.
Damn, dude.
Got what? 8 days? Jeez.
I got 2 of the cheap Flippy Rats.
Mm.
Icar, of course, Pack Rat, Blight, Cutthroat, can't block, but it's got fear, so automatic. Pestilence is fun.
Pestilence is awesome.
These have become black staples now.
Yep.
Piper.
Well, it wouldn't be a DJ deck without a Piper in it, right?
Well, not all my decks have Pipers, but this one especially. Of course, Slumload, just got Rat Catcher, and this one will help with card draw.
You're kind of running a reanimator deck without reanimation.
Well, I have some reanimate. Of course, now Mana Source, is this instant or
It's
what
instant.
is that? Instant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can sack something and grab 5 real quick.
Pimp's Mischief.
Some staples there. Proliferate if I do get some tokens or the whatchamacallit's going off.
+1 counters. That's a kind
Reanimate. This is
the
also a
toxic.
cool reanimate card. You get a little 1/1/2. And then, of course, this has a little recursion there. This one I can go recursion or go for Lost Life. There you go, more of that. And then just every time a creature dies, bam.
Get some mana.
The only thing I'm seeing though is you kind of got a scattered strategy. You don't have something focused.
That's the problem.
So I'm seeing
I just noticed this one too. This is pretty dope.
Yeah, Transmigrant's Altar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've got Phyrexian Altar in there for some form of, use with your sack.
Right.
He said sack. And then you've got Bantu's Monument and Bastion of Remembrance. So you're kind of going little death, little reanimation, drain people. Yeah, you need ways to make your guys unblockable.
Unblockable, big. Like one card you should get for your deck, since you're running a sack outlet kind of a theme, is you need to get an Eldrazi Monument for that deck.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Oh,
because to make all your creatures indestructible, you're already sacrificing a creature at the beginning of your upkeep. Then your creatures are getting +1/+1.
I don't have it.
No, you're right, but I'm saying that will work in your deck. You got to put the low mana curve on your rats.
Yeah.
But like you need to protect your board. You need to be able to keep up. Especially if you get a Whip of Arrowbell Slater and some other thing that give your creatures lifelink. Then you get like another spell that gives all your creatures death touch. You need to start thinking of your rats as a colony of team that you need to protect and build up, kind of like slivers.
Right.
But you need enchantments that beef up your team to do that. Right now, the way I'm seeing it, and I'm not dogging on you, is you just got a bunch of rats and some side cards. I mean, the Orcish Bowmasters don't even fit the theme, but it's a pretty good card though.
Yeah,
as I said, the rats and the bats are the rats and the bats. Bats and the orc, they're staples. They're gonna do the thing.
Well, the bats though. here's my thing with it. That has to be a token that dies or enters the battlefield, right?
Yeah.
So what's your token production plan to capital
So we have
the Slumlord
Slumlord.
and Catcher and
Well that's
or
shooter.
no, you've got other ones too. Never mind.
Piper.
So that's actually a mean little combo potential.
And this doesn't say token creature, right?
No, it's just any token.
Yeah, so that's
token
why I thought
or lead.
where'd he go? Roro.
That's actually pretty saucy.
Saucy. All right. Well, anyways, it is time. I actually have to get off the live. I have to go. It's time for my day to start.
Yeah, I need to get a couple hours before work.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for coming on. You're always welcome. Thank you everybody in chat for hanging along, tagging along. You guys are awesome. You guys are amazing. And also
Armageddon! Annihilation! White hot tentacles of doom spit